radio today, and he ain't afraid to say what he's thinking. It's the Michael K. Show on 880 ESPN Radio.
And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on this Monday, January 12th, 2026. Me and you for two. Those are the rules of engagement. The fastest 2 hours of sports talk radio. You get involved because you're the co-host, and there's so much to break down on this Monday. Big football Monday. What a weekend of football, other than the final game where the Patriots beat the Chargers. Every game was a nail-biter. And even that game, you couldn't say it was over until the final touchdown to Hunter Henry by Drake May. And that was with 5 minutes remaining. It was you just waiting for the Chargers to do something, and they didn't. New England's the real deal, everybody. New England's the real deal. If you're a New York Jet fan and you see how quickly New England has rejiggered and bounced back and become a power again, it's sobering. It really is. The Jets have not made the playoffs in 15 straight years. And here we are, New England has a legitimate chance to go back to the Super Bowl. Couple of fallow years at the end under Belichick, and then the 1 year under Gerard Mayo, and then Mike Vrabel takes over. Drake May matures in the second year, and they spend a lot of money in free agency, and they're back. They are back. They beat a pretty good Charger team that had been playing well, so they move on. The other games, there's so much to talk about. I'm not going to break them all down because a lot of them happen on Saturday, and you've probably already gone over them. Rams beat the Panthers 34-31. Panthers put up a good fight. They were 10.5-point underdogs, and they were leading right until the end when Matthew Stafford did MVP things and won the game. But the Panthers played very, very well. I know they were under 500 for the year, but they won their division. They hosted that game. They had beaten the Rams earlier in the year, and that started the Rams kind of collapse at the end. But the Rams did come back to win 34-31. Then the Bears beat the Packers 31-27. Packers had this game in hand. Some very strange coaching decisions by LaFleur as the Bears are trying to hold on to their timeouts, and LaFleur continues to pass. Incomplete passes stop the clock. So they had plenty of time. Caleb Williams stepped up, and you could see why this guy was the number one pick in the draft. What a special, special player. And what Ben Johnson has done in Chicago shows you that you can turn things around right away. But the key with what Ben Johnson has done and what Liam Cohen's done is that they both had quarterbacks. Ben Johnson took that job because Caleb Williams was in place. Liam Cohen took that job because Trevor Lawrence was in place. And maybe whoever takes the Giant job, if it's John Harbaugh, they take that job because they see Jackson Dart is in place. But one other thing that game told us, and it was such an exhilarating game. If you love football, you just fell in love harder after that. Ben Johnson's a nozzle. I mean, I guess if he's your nozzle, you love him, but he's a nozzle. I mean, that quick handshake with LaFleur at midfield and then bleep the Packers. Listen, I know this isn't church. This is entertainment, kind of leaning more toward WWE than ever before. But there's got to be, I guess, some level of decorum. But he's a wild man, and he's an offensive genius. And the corrections that he made at halftime and the way the Bears played in the second half, especially in that fourth quarter, Ben Johnson's the real deal. But again, a nozzle. You can be the real deal on a nozzle. Bill Belichick was a nozzle, and he was a real deal. Ben Johnson, what a hire by the Bears. And you could tell he left the Lions not the same team, right? Not the same team. Lions lost both of their coordinators, and they didn't even make the playoffs. Now we move to yesterday. 49ers beat Philly 23-19. Philly's offense is just terrible. And Saquon Barkley said, I don't know if we put together a full game in terms of playing well offensively all year. We'd have a half, and then it would disappear. quite an interesting exchange between Sirianni and A.J. Brown. You know, Brown's always complaining, get me the ball, get me the ball, get me the ball. Then they throw him the ball, and he drops it. Sirianni got right in his face. And you heard Michael Strahan on the Fox halftime show say, you just don't do that to your player in the middle of a game. You're going to lose your player. Then at the end of the game, you know what? He dropped another pass. Their offense is stagnant. It's been stagnant all year. So they go home, and the 49ers, who lose George Kittle to an Achilles injury in the first half, persevere and win. You look at the injuries that the 49ers have suffered all year, and for them to move on to the second round of the playoffs, Shanahan's done some job. And also, kudos to Robert Saleh. A lot of the injury have taken place on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, he lost Fred Warner. And still he put together a defense that was good enough to stop Philly. And, you know, in the Post today, there was a headline, Saleh's great coaching shows that he should get a second chance at a head coaching job. No, what it shows is Robert Saleh is great as a defensive coordinator. Doesn't mean he's a great head coach, and I think he will get another shot. But just because he's a great defensive coordinator, as I was telling Aaron Glenn the other day, does not mean that you become a great head coach. But I will say this. I think it's folly that he was fired at 2-3 last year by the Jets. To bring in Jeff Ulbrich, who was not a coach, who didn't coach. Things could have been a lot different if they kept Saleh here. Gave him a full year with Aaron Rodgers. And you wonder what Saleh's legacy would be in New York if, in fact, Aaron Rodgers didn't get hurt in that first game. Because I think there's something there with Saleh. First of all, I like him. Seems like a good guy. The interactions I had with him, texting back and forth with him, he's a good guy. I think he's a good football coach. And I think he will eventually be a good head coach. His players want to run through a wall for him. And you can see that Shanahan loves him. That was one of the first guys he embraced when the game was clear that it was over. So the 49ers move on, knock out Philly. Then the Bills go into Jacksonville, underdogs, and they beat the Jaguars 27-24. And if they're going to get to the Super Bowl, they're going to get to the Super Bowl on the heart and arm of Josh Allen. He's pretty special. Pretty darn special. Now, I have one complaint, and it didn't end up biting them. And the one complaint is they had the ball on the 1 yard line, first and goal, and they decided to score right away. When Jacksonville has a kicker who was hitting from 72 yards before the game. So if it's just a total normal kickoff and goes out of the end zone, you start at the 35. You don't even have to be in the middle of a long drive to get into field goal position to tie the game. I think that with Josh Allen and with Cook, I think you could have kneeled down twice, run out the clock, and then have him run in. Now, obviously, if it didn't work, you have egg all over your face. But the way they did it, scoring right away, if the Jaguars ended up coming back and tying the game and then winning in overtime, they'd also have egg in their face. But they decided, we're going to score. You could see Jacksonville let them score to take the lead. And then we come down to the final game last night, Patriots 16, Chargers 3. So here's how it sets up for this weekend. You got the Broncos against the Bills on Saturday. The Patriots against the winner of tonight's game, the Texans and the Steelers. That's on Sunday. Seahawks against the 49ers on Saturday, and the Rams against the Bears on Sunday. Now, there is some inequity in this. There's some unfairness in this. The Rams and the Bears, they play games on Saturday, right? So they're going to have an extra day of rest in the next round. Now, the 49ers played on Sunday, and the 49ers, they have to travel to Seattle on Saturday. So they're playing on short rest. And the Bills, well, they have to fly to Denver on a short week to play on Saturday. And Texans and Pitt, the winner of that game, they're going to play on a short week as well. And it's weird. The NFL stopped having Monday night games on week 18 because if one of those teams on Monday night made the playoffs, it wasn't fair to them to have a short week. Now they engineer short weeks. So there's a Monday night game tonight. And the team that plays tonight is going to have a short week. Why? Shouldn't everybody have an equal chance? Now you could say, well, if you didn't want to have this possibility, then win your division. Well, you know what? The Steelers did win their division. They won their division, and they're going to be playing with a short week in the second round of the playoffs. Tell me how that's fair. Please tell me how that's fair. Again, they don't play a game on the final week on Monday night because you don't want a team to have an unfair disadvantage in their first playoff game. But then you go around and you engineer that. The teams that played on Saturday should play on Saturday this week. The teams that play on Sunday should play on Sunday next week. And there should not be a Monday night playoff game. There shouldn't be. Again, tell me how that's fair. 1-800-919-3776. Now, this has become a big talking point today. And I think it's a little over the top. And I could see that the way it's trending is that if you're against what happened yesterday, then you're part of the old guard and you're a fuddy-duddy and you don't love sports. Well, I'm going to spit in the face of that and give you my true take on this. I don't care if Pat McAfee disagrees with me. I don't care if Adam Schefter, who I like as a friend, called this exchange awesome. The quote was on his post, an awesome post-game exchange. Well, what we're talking about, if you haven't heard, is that there's a woman, Lynn Jones, who works for Jacksonville paper, who was at the post-game press conference with Liam Cohen. And she got the first question, and rather than the question, she kind of gave a pep talk to Liam Cohen. And listen, did the world end? Was it terrible? No, in its own way, it's endearing. And if you want to be that person and you want to give a pep talk to the coach or the manager that just lost a big game, the press conference room is not the place to do it. It's not. It's not the place to do it. Because there are people there that are trying to cover the game that are actually legitimate journalists, and they want to ask questions. And there's a limited time to ask questions. So Ms. Jones took up over 30 seconds of that situation by kind of telling Liam Cohen to keep his dauber up. And again, it was kind of beautiful and nice, but it was the wrong place for it. I'm sorry, it was the wrong place for it. And I get it. Pat McAfee is the new media. And, you know, if you're going to go up against him in our company, well, you're committing professional suicide. And I'm not getting into an argument with Pat McAfee. But, you know, he kind of went up and in on those that think that was the wrong time in the wrong place. Okay, this is what Pat wrote. Love seeing these sports quote-unquote journalists getting absolutely buried for being curmudgeon bums. Obviously not all of them, but a large percentage of these things hate sports. They hate what sports are for people, happiness. They hate what sports are for society, unifier. They're political journalists by nature who preyed on sports because they saw it as an easier path to, quote, make it. Their days are numbered. My show being broadcasted on ESPN 10 hours a week with zero creative say from any, quote, journalism school puppets is living proof of that. That's why they attack me as much as possible. I'm happy the world is starting to see what they truly are. Now, we as a society have to stop taking these particular humans seriously. Their opinions and thoughts are coming from a place of wanting to destroy sports. Sports are the greatest thing on earth. These bleepers have no idea and will never get it. Also, thank you, Lynn Jones, for setting up a situation for me and all of us on how Liam Cohen, a man who might be a GOAT when he's done, handles compliments during one of his most miserable moments. He handled it with class and dignity. Feels like some journalism was actually done there. With all due respect, Pat, I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you. I love sports. Now, some of those journalists there might have wanted to ask Liam Cohen, why did you go for it on 4th and goal with 2 to go, 2 yards to go, rather than take the field goal, which would have put you up 10-3? So instead, you go for it. Trevor Lawrence gets stopped, and Buffalo comes back and scores a touchdown. It changed the entire specter of the game. Those are the questions. You're not trying to knock down sports. You're trying to understand why an obviously outstanding, bright, young coach made that decision. And it was made throughout the weekend. You can't tell me that Carolina did not suffer. Well, they're on their side of the 50. They're on their side of the 50. And they go for it on 4th and 2. And they didn't get it. And then when Liam Cohen finally did answer that question, he kind of shut it down and said, that's the way we've been doing it all year. No. All year is different than a playoff game. All year is different than a playoff game. Dan Campbell said that. He didn't go to the Super Bowl because he kept going for it on 4th down. Anyway, I'm getting away from the point. Lynn Jones didn't do anything terrible. She just did it in the wrong place at the wrong time. Now, with Pat McAfee's show, his show is there to celebrate sports. And I think it's great. And I think it's a great thing on ESPN. He gets the best guests. And obviously people feel that is a nice landing spot to give their side of the story. He has figured it out. He's not there to grill people. He's there to have a conversation with somebody who's a newsmaker, make them feel comfortable, have a good time. The formula works. It's perfect. But you couldn't do that in a post-game scrum, Pat. You can't. That's not the place for it. There is absolutely nothing wrong with what she said. And if she wanted to pull him aside and say that, and he's right, by the way, Liam Cohen handled that well. You could see it was awkward. You could see he felt a little awkward, but he smiled. His eyes got a little watery. I thought it was nice. But that was not the place for it. And I never wanted to be a political reporter, Pat, ever. I love sports, and I want to be a sports writer. It doesn't mean that you're against the sport or you're trying to bring it down. You're just trying to get stories. You're trying to find out why Liam Cohen went for it in the first half there. You're not there to denigrate him. You're not there to roast him. You're there to just find out why it happened. Again, Pat McAfee's show is different than a post-game press conference. He has chosen a way to do sports, which I think resonates with many, many people and people in the business as well. Because obviously the answer to that is, look how many big names he gets on his show. People feel comfortable there. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Nothing wrong with it. But it wouldn't work if it was a post-game press conference. And the guy that he works with on College Game Day, I wonder how Nick Saban would have handled that if somebody was trying to, keep your dauber up, coach, after he lost a big game with Alabama. Again, time and place for everything. I just don't like it that people are making this out to be the death of journalism that she did it. No, it's awkward. It's uncomfortable. It was not the place for it. Doesn't mean she's a bad person. Doesn't mean she's a joke. And by the way, if you look at the people that are credentialed now throughout professional sports, you are credentialing essentially fans that are doing blogs. You're credentialing them. So of course you're going to get exchanges like this. So maybe the fault doesn't lie on Lynn Jones. Maybe the fault lies at the NFL credentialing people that are not there to break down the game and find out why something happened. And we saw that starting about a decade ago with the clowns that get credentialed at Super Bowl Media Day. And the questions they ask, it is entertainment. I get that. It's not Watergate. It's not the Pentagon Papers. None of that. Nor should it be. But I don't think that I'm a curmudgeon bum. And I don't hate sports. And I don't think that sports should be looked at as anything but a unifier for society. And I don't prey on sports because I saw it was an easier path to make it. I think I've done my job in an honorable way. And there are times to ask questions. And listen, if you want to, talk to Buck Showalter after he loses Game 5 in 1995 and tell him you're sorry by the way things went down, you could do that. You don't do it in the press conference room because I did it. The questions asked of Buck Showalter in Seattle that day were about the game and about bringing Jack McDowell to close the game and not John Wetland. Those were the questions. And then after everybody had cleared out and people were headed to the bus, I walked up to Showalter and said, I'm really sorry you're going through this. I would never have done that in the press conference. Doesn't mean I hate sports. Doesn't mean that I'm looking to be negative. People have a job to do. So the 30 seconds that Lynn Jones spent doing what she did, which again was lovely, it's not the time of the place. Not the time of the place. It's not the death of real journalism. And I think that, when Pat says we as a society have to stop taking these particular humans seriously, wow, that's pretty strong. Because people want to do their job and ask why you went for it on 4th and 2, that means that they shouldn't be taken seriously? So it's all supposed to be rah-rah? Hey, great. Wear my Jaguars gear? No, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. And I'm not looking to get into a hissing match with Pat McAfee because that's a match that he's going to win. Not because he's going to outsmart me, but he's got many more people on his side than I do. And you know what? He's right about one thing. Most people hate the media. Most people hate the media. Politically and in sports. But the people that hate the media, they probably know they want to know, why did Liam Cohen go for it on 4th and 2 when he could have taken the points, could have had a field goal? But they would not know the answer to that if everybody was Lynn Jones telling Liam Cohen what a wonderful year he had and keep your head up, young man. Time and a place. There's a time and a place for everything. Time and a place for everything. Now, if it was an open-ended, 3-hour-long press conference where every single question could be asked, you know what? No harm, no foul. Because the people have to ask the questions, you know what? They're going to end up asking the questions when they have to. But to go after these people, I don't know. It's a little strong, Pat. It really is. It's a little strong. Not everybody is evil. Not everybody who tries to do their job's evil. That's what's happening in politics, by the way. You're getting cheerleaders on both sides of the aisle. There's one network that cheerleads for one side. There's another network that cheerleads for another. Did they really tell you what's going on? Or are they just cheerleading? They're just cheerleading. And you know what happens? It's the deterioration of information. We don't find out what we want to find out because there's one-siderism. I'm going to tell you why that side is right. Not whether or not they are right or not, but I'm going to tell you why I think they're right. And there's another network that said, I'm going to tell you why that side is wrong. But nobody tells you the middle. Nobody tells you why Liam Cohen wants to go for it on 4th and 2. And I think that's a legitimate question if you love sports. I love sports. I want to know why those decisions are made. I don't need somebody to take up the time of a post-game press conference to tell Liam Cohen to keep his dauber up. Not the time, nor the place. Steve Young will join us in just a moment. We'll break down what was a great NFL weekend. Big news in baseball as Bregman ends up signing with the Cubs. And the Red Sox are left holding the bag. And boy, is their fan base upset. So now there are 3 really big free agents left. Kyle Tucker, Cody Bellinger, and Framber Valdez. And if you want to put Ranger Suarez in there, you could as well. So 3.5. We'll talk about all of that as well as we move along. It's the K Show right here on ESPN New York.
Monday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Will the Giants be able to land John Harbaugh as their next head coach?
You need John Harbaugh. That's who you need. I think if the Giants have a really good offseason, and that's a big if, that they could compete for that division next season. I really believe it.
I think the second, if it happens, John Harbaugh gets hired, that most NFL experts will pick the Giants to be one of those teams that has the biggest turnaround.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Whether it's day or night, hot flashes due to menopause can be unpredictable. That's why there's Veoza, a prescription treatment proven to reduce the number and severity of hot flashes day and night that can start working in as early as 1 week. Based on clinical studies measuring efficacy at 4 and 12 weeks, individual results may vary. Talk to your healthcare provider about what this may mean for you. For moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms or hot flashes and night sweats due to menopause, Veoza can cause serious side effects, including liver problems. Your doctor will do blood tests before and during treatment. Stop Veoza and call your doctor if you have symptoms of liver problems, such as feeling more tired than usual, decreased appetite, nausea, vomiting, itching, yellowing of the eyes or skin, pale stool, dark urine, or stomach pain. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP1A2 inhibitors. Ask your doctor about Veoza. To learn more, call 1-866-239-1637 or go to Veoza.com. That's VEOZAH.com. Paid for by Stellus Pharma.
Hey, football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's Second Chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead.
Really?
That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second,
You get your stake back in cash.
with BetMGM's Second Chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Try a first TD scorer wager with confidence today. BetMGM. Make it legendary.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. New Jersey only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
From Focus Features, movies are a place of dreams. And this year, one movie captures that spirit like no other. Based on a true story, critics hail Song Sung Blue is a tribute to the resilience of humanity.
Trying to be better.
Aren't we all?
Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson are electric.
Bad things happen. I just want to sing and I want to shine.
In the best picture of the year, Song Sung Blue, rated PG-13, may be inappropriate for children under 13, now playing only in theaters.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible, overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right, pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
Rich Eisen here. LinkedIn Jobs is stepping things up with their new AI assistant so you can feel confident you're finding top talent. Get this. Employees hired through LinkedIn are 30% more likely to stick around for at least a year compared to those hired through the leading competitor. Hire right the first time. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Eisen, then promote it to use LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant, making it easier and faster to find top candidates. That's linkedin.com/Eisen to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. And promote it to use LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant, making it easier and faster to find top candidates. That's linkedin.com/Eisen to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
Brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. 7 p.m., Rangers host the Kraken at Madison Square Garden. Coverage begins at 6:30 right here on ESPN New York. 8 p.m., the Devils are in Minnesota to play the Wild. That means that Don's in Minnesota. And 8:30, the Nets are in Dallas to play the Mavericks. That game will be on Yes. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glass up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. All right, we're waiting on Steve Young. As we do, let's take some phone calls. Let's go to Mike in Bayside. Mike, start it off.
Hey, Mike, I agree with you 1,000,000% about that lady. You know, she wasn't even on my radar because I'm into football. And my opinion about her is she probably went to the game, got some soft drinks, got a free hot dog, and she did very well, got in a building that cost $300 to get into, and really she didn't care about the football, okay? And that's just my opinion. Now, about the football, which I agree with everything you said, and I really want to touch on this going for it on fourth down. It changes the temperature of a whole game sometimes. The Jacksonville game, the Carolina game, where, like, why don't you play for field position? It's playoff football. It's not the 18 games of football. Am I right?
Well, it's funny, Mike. You watch all of these games, every one of them. It's now the thing. There's so many coaches that leave points on the board. Just leave them on the board. So if you, in fact, get that 3 points there and you make it 10-3, then maybe Buffalo doesn't score. And if they do, it's 10-10. It's not 10-7 at that time. It has long-term ramifications. It really does. And I think that that's a problem with analytics too, because it doesn't take the temperature of the moment. And I don't know if it takes into account the field positioning. Again, what Carolina did, going for it, their first possession on their side of the 50, I don't agree with that. Punt the ball, play the field position game. Unless they're just thinking, well, if we punt it to L.A., they're going to end up scoring. Oh, okay. Well, let's ask our guest about it. Steve Young, I'm sure, watched all of these games, a Hall of Famer, and he joins us now on the show. Steve, how you doing?
Michael, great.
Well, we were just talking about fourth downs. It seems like it's constant. And then the answer is, well, that's the way we've been doing it all year. I don't know, Steve. I think playoffs are different than all year. It's different than week 7 when you're playing a team that's out of it or is not competitive. What's your take on it seemingly constantly going for it on fourth down?
Ask Dan Campbell.
Right.
Who, this is who we are. This is what we do. And I get that. I completely understand that you've set a tone and a pattern for aggressiveness, and that's really a kind of your – but you get into a championship game and you're up by 21 or 24 – I can't remember what it was. And you're going to go for on fourth down rather than putting the – it costs Super Bowls. So it's like you have to be tactical and aggressive, right? And the other point I want to make is if you're going to go for it on fourth down and you don't have a good play, then you're an idiot. Like, tell me that you have a great play that you love on fourth down, or you're desperate. I get the desperation, and we all do. Look, you're desperate. You don't have a choice. Okay, but if it's something where you can put points on the board or that you can be smart and kick it and live another day, then tell me that you have a play that you love. And if you don't have a play you love, you kick it or you punt it or whatever you got to do to live another day. So it's like I don't know why it's almost – there's a safety valve that coaches have now in going for it. In some ways, it's expected. And so it becomes routine when I don't think it ever should be routine. I think it's got to be, and there's 10 teams out there that are innovative and thoughtful and have cool. Just think of Andy Reid, all the cool plays he's done. Think about everything that happened yesterday with the 49ers. Like they lost to Kittle. They got no threats outside. And so what does he do? He puts in Kyle Juszczyk and figures out these little funky ways to move the football. And that's the innovation. It's like going for, if you got fourth down a lot of plays, then cool. But I just think a lot of coaches, it's become, it's college, right? And it's like, oh yeah, let's give it we'll whirl it. That's who we are. And I think that's, to your point, it's kind of dumb.
And also, one thing I think gets lost in it, 4th and inches is different than 4th and 2. So when Liam Cohen goes for it in the first half, 4th and 2, rather than take the field goal, then you don't get it. And then, you respond, your defense responds by giving up a touchdown to the Bills. 4th and 2 is not easy, Steve. You know that.
Yeah. And that's, again, if I talk to Liam and he goes, look, Steve, I had a play, it'll work. It's 95% chance. Then that's fine. But if I'm just going to ram it in there and, I hope it's a hope thing because I want to set a tone at home, take your points in the playoffs. I think that's why, that's going to be a tough lesson for like Dan Campbell had to learn it. Now he had to give up a Super Bowl because of it or appearance. And now Liam's going to have to learn it, right? Because you got to, in the playoff, take those early points, build some momentum.
Now let's talk Bears-Packers. It seems like the Bears have fallen into this trap. All right, let's not play really smart football for 45 minutes, and then we'll just show how great we are in the fourth. I don't know if that's sustainable, Steve.
No, it's not. And I think it's. I don't think it's a tactic. I think they're just not. They're not buttoned up. And they're not, if you're going to waste that much time in a playoff game, it's a miracle finish. That's a miracle finish. Great. It's amazing. We'll talk about it for a long time. The collapse of the Packers, right? You can take it both ways. And when they go up 24-16 with a couple minutes left, he's like, okay, we're not going to let them score 14 more. Right? And so that's a Packer collapse. But it's, I admire what the Bears did. I think it's something to build on for sure. Right? And it's very exciting, but great teams don't waste 3/4 of a playoff game. They just don't, and so it'll catch you, and maybe not in the wild card round, but it's coming. If they don't shift gears and get playing better football for 4 quarters, they'll get beat.
Your take on Caleb Williams, because man, he makes some throws that open your eyes, and he can run, and his arm is great. What's your feel on him?
There was one throw against his, running left, and I don't know how he put anything on it. I have no idea how he put it in that spot. It's a special ability, and so he's putting himself in. There's a Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes kind of, triumvirate that they're the best quarterbacks in the league. Justin Herbert's trying to get there but doesn't have enough help. Lamar Jackson's trying to get there but doesn't have the right scheme. Who else is, there's others like Jordan Love or anyone else. They're trying, but I think Caleb is, trying to, he's trying to show that I can be one of those guys. And then and these flourishing ends, he certainly can be one of these guys. So I think the winner of the Bears comebacks are Caleb.
Yeah.
Because that's a quarterback thing, right? That's and how many times have I said the NFL has become the NBA, where it's a closer's league. Who can close? Who can make a play? Who can create something? Who can carry it? And if he's one of those guys, now he joins a very elite group that can win games, in playoff games. He basically just pulled a playoff game out of his hat, which is remarkable. Absolutely remarkable.
Now, it's obvious, and we're talking with Steve Young here on the Michael K. Show, it's obvious that Ben Johnson is really a smart football man. And I understand that the NFL is not Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. It's just not. But Ben Johnson, do you think he goes out of his way to be a jerk? And do you think that what he did is jerk-like?
Sometimes things are just, I'm not much for, I guess I go back to the Ronnie Lott theory about competition, that I don't really want to, I don't want to do it unless it's, respected and it's a sacred ground where if you lose, you get a chance to learn. And if you win, you kind of learn as well and have the dignity to give the person the chance to. So anything away from that, it takes from that, it feels like, well, I don't want to do it. So it's that I don't know, disrespect, or it's just, look, I don't know the inside story. Something might have been said that never should have been said, and that ruins things. But certainly feels like Matt LaFleur came out with kind of, honesty and integrity, kind of like, come on, let's shake hands, and I just kind of shoved it to him. So I don't know. It does feel, you're right, it feels off and not dignified. So there's that.
49ers beat Philly. Philly's offense, it just looks like it's caught betwixt and between, doesn't know what it wants to be. And the 49ers, you mentioned, Shanahan, with all the injuries that they've had, and I think he's obviously a great coach, so do you, but this might be his best coaching job. How has he gotten this team into the second round without all of the players that he's lost?
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, I'm so glad it happened the way it did, to not allow for the Eagles to be able to, with what I thought was pretty much hubris, right? Is like, this team is not very good, and we can just hang around and run the football not effectively, and just where, like all of a sudden the last drive we're going to come alive and show that we have some ability, and then flub it at the end with play calling that was just brutal. Like, talk about all the innovation that Kyle showed throughout the game, and athletic mindset around personnel and concocting ways to move the ball. Remember the trick play, and like, how do we figure out a way? How do I get through this? And the Eagles just sitting there. If I was an Eagles fan, I would be just flaming pissed right now that you think you're that good that you can just hang around and not, and you know what I mean? Like, it's terrible. And I'm glad they didn't get away with it, because that would have been disrespectful.
A.J. Brown drops a pass early, and very clearly, Sirianni almost runs the length of the field and just gets in his face and starts screaming. Michael Strahan on the Fox halftime show said, you just don't do that to players publicly. You just don't, because you're going to lose them. You think it's okay to yell at a player like that publicly?
You got to be super careful. One of the best qualities of great coaches and great quarterbacks is that they are psychologists. They have gears for the right person at the right time. And so it's pretty obvious that running down the field and screaming at AJ in a playoff game when he drops the ball is probably not going to be effective. And then at the end of the game, what happens? He drops the big ball.
Yep.
That, the game's on the line. And so clearly, we don't have to ask the question. We know the answer. It was ineffective. It was not right. And so I think, look, I thought it was a really, really bad day for the Eagles. Coaches, for players, like, just philosophy, just felt lazy. Yeah.
Yeah, not good.
But Michael, we should talk about the 49ers, because the resilience, the locker room strength, you talk about integrity out of the locker room, guys that have rallied. They played a middle linebacker that's never played for the team before, showed up in Philly, and held them to under 3 touchdowns. Like it's amazing what they're doing, Robert Saleh and Kyle Shanahan. They should both be coaches of the year, hands down, not a question.
Patriots win 16-3. Steve, just from my untrained eye, I mean, the Chargers looked like they had nothing. They had no answer at all for the Patriots defense. And the guy's a great quarterback with a great arm. What happened there? Did they not have enough weapons?
It's not Justin Herbert. It's not. He's a great player. Anyone in the league would scream to have that guy, especially the innovators. The team guys we talk about every week. I mean, you go to Kansas City, the Rams, 49ers, Broncos, and now there's 10 other places that have great innovation offensively. You get Justin Herbert, you're won the Super Bowl. The Chargers are built to run the football, play great defense, win the line of scrimmage, which is all very important. In the rank and file games all season long, you're going to win your share. But you can tell that the offensive, the strata, like, it does not expansive enough. It needs to expand to allow so that it's not Justin Herbert has to play hero Superman ball. I thought that the Bills have been like that for a long time and have gotten better, but they've got to philosophically switch to allow the key to the innovative offensive minds today is how difficult can I make it through motions, formation, deploying tactics, play calling stacked on each other to make the job as hard as I can on the defense and as easy as I can on the quarterback. And he deserves that kind of a philosophy. And I'm sorry that it's not happening.
All right, final thing. I don't know if we as the media make too much out of it. I just wonder as a player, a couple of the teams that are playing the next round are playing on a short week because of television. Does that really negatively impact things, Steve?
I think especially people that are traveling that day.
Right.
I think it does. I think it gets you out of your routine, speeds things up. Routine is really important all year long. You get used to it. That's why the Super Bowl is so weird. It's such a weird routine. So shortening it up. Look, they have players that play on Thursday from a Sunday, so that's a lot to ask. But I'd say it's a slight negative for the team that has to travel for those short weeks and playoff atmosphere, because you want to get everybody fully ready, fully on board, and so that's a little unusual.
Great stuff as always, Steve. Talk to you next Monday.
All right. See you, Michael.
All right. Hey, the final wild card matchup is tonight, and FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Tonight, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. Steelers and the Texans, it's in Pittsburgh for the final spot in the divisional round. So take your shot on an upset or build a parlay that fits the moment. Then apply your profit boost and go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. So visit FanDuel.com/local, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. 21 plus and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
1-877-CARS for kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS for Kids.
1-877-CARS for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Hey, New York and New Jersey, Boost Mobile has an unlimited talk, text, and data plan that's only $25 a month forever, meaning you'll only ever pay $25 a month for the rest of your life. Who wouldn't want unlimited wireless when it only costs $25 a month forever? If you don't, you must be one of those people who enjoy overpaying for their phone plan. $25 a month forever is truly as good as it gets, so go online and switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
Looking for the best meat and seafood at unbeatable prices? Get to Wild Fork Foods. They offer the widest selection of meats and seafoods you'll find anywhere. Everything is blast frozen to lock in flavor and nutrients. From beef and poultry to seafood, pork, and even exotic and game meats, you'll get the best value for your buck. Visit one of their 7 locations across Long Island and New Jersey, or order online for same-day delivery at wildforkfoods.com. Wild Fork Foods, your neighborhood's meat and seafood market.
Health surprises can change your life in an instant. You've seen it happen to others, but it doesn't have to be your story. At Princeton Longevity Center, we customize actionable and proactive health plans to maximize your lifespan and take control of your health. Our Cancer Check program combines cutting-edge technology with top medical expertise to keep you ahead of potential risks. With advanced full-body imaging, genetic testing, and multi-cancer detection blood tests, we look for even the earliest signs of problems. Results are analyzed by expert physicians who craft a personalized plan to safeguard your future. You're not just a patient, you're a partner in your health journey, backed by a team committed to helping you live longer, healthier, and more vibrantly. Our programs have saved hundreds of lives and empowered countless others to take control of their health. Be proactive with your health for the ultimate peace of mind. Call 888-8000-PLC or visit PrincetonLongevityCenter.com.
Murray to the net. Score!
The New York Islanders are back in action with a brand new theme night schedule you won't want to miss. Bring your friends out for the holidays and take home a custom holiday replica jersey or arrive early for special bobblehead giveaway nights for Matt Barzell and Bo Horvat.
Barzell for Horvat. Score!
Explore the full theme night schedule at NewYorkIslanders.com.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Progressive knows sports brings people together, but you gotta feel bad for people who don't even get it. Some people will never know what it's like to see their favorite team's hopes decided by a ping pong ball to draft the next superstar. Or not. I mean, sure, it's silly for your happiness to hinge on the success of a 20-year-old entry-level employee, but you just can't help yourself. The stress is exhilarating. Progressive can't bring people together like the draft, but we can bring your home and auto insurance together with a bundle. So switch and see if you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the...
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your...
windshield wipers. eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
In the city that never sleeps and never stops talking sports, ESPN New York is always on. Now you can live and breathe everything New York sports wherever you are. On your radio dial, on the ESPN New York app, and streaming live on YouTube. However you watch or listen, ESPN New York is always on for you. Hear us, stream us, watch us. This is ESPN New York.
Well, boxing is back at Madison Square Garden on Friday, January 31st for the Ring 6. Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. Power meets precision on boxing's biggest stage. ESPN New York has your chance to score tickets on the ESPN New York app. Just find the contest tile and submit your entry. Brought to you by Madison Square Garden. This is one fight you do not want to miss. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com and catch every round live on DAZN. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to the phones. Billy in the truck. Billy.
Hey, Mike. Appreciate you taking the call. How you doing?
You got it. How you doing?
Doing all right. Doing pretty good. It's always good when you see the Eagles lose, especially in the playoffs. It's always a good Monday then.
All right.
But I got to agree with McAfee. I'm not 100% sure, but I thought they said in the morning show that she's like a seasoned reporter. Like she,
25 years.
Snuck in. Oh, well, yeah, okay, wow. But, I get, the post-game is important and informational and all that, but, how many times do you get some generic or weightless answer that, that's what we've done all year? Or I don't know why, I get, everyone wants to hear those things, but I don't see an issue every once in a while giving some flowers in a public manner. I don't see too much of an issue with it.
Well, Billy, as I said when I said what I said, was it the worst thing in the world that ever happened? No, and it sounds like it had really sweet intent, and I like that she feels that way, and she's trying to comfort another human being who's obviously going through it. Just not the time or the place. Now, did she create a situation that should be railed about? No. But, you're right. Coaches don't say much. So the answer to that is not to turn it into, a love fest. The answer to that is not have them. You're right. They're crap. They're crap. They don't say anything. These press conferences, they don't say anything. They're not going to tip their hand. They're not going to open up a vein for the benefit of the public. I see it on this local level. Like, it's funny. Yankee fans get upset that the media doesn't go hard against Boone. And that Boone doesn't really say anything. He doesn't rip his players. But then those same people that want, the media to go hard after Boone, they're the ones defending what Lynn Jones did. So, I mean, what do you want of your post-game press conference? Do you want to at least try to find out something of import? Or do you want to turn it into, let's turn it into fans asking questions? Because that's what it is anyway. Those fans now have podcasts, and they're being credentialed. I mean, aren't we taking that next step the way, networks now set up their pregame shows in front of screaming fans where you can't hear anything anyway? So, listen, there's no perfect answer. This doesn't mean that she has to go to The Hague or have her press credential taken away. Just odd because it's not the time or the place. I'm not saying that she can't, at the end of the press conference, pull them aside and say that exact same thing, which would be really human. I mean, we need more humanity in our society anyway. But that's not, it's a press conference to find out what happened in the game, not a therapy session for a coach. Was it the worst thing that ever happened? No. And please, don't paint it to be that I'm making it out that way. And you're right. Billy's right. Coaches don't say anything in these press conferences, but you got to try. If you're just going to give up and turn it into an ooey-gooey therapy session, let's give up. Let's not have them anymore, which coaches would love. They would love. But blame the NFL, blame Jacksonville for credentialing somebody who would feel that that's the thing to bring up in a press conference. I don't know if she's a 25-year sports writer, but she's a 25-year writer. So she deserves respect. And if that's what she felt that she had to ask, that's on her, man. It's okay. Because they did get around to asking why go for it on 4th and 2. So I don't know if there was a question that was left out because of that 30 seconds, but again, not the time nor the place. I'm looking forward to talking to Scott Van Pelt about this. We talk to him every Monday, and he has a good take on these sorts of things. And he conducts his interviews in a respectful way on his Sports Center. So I'm kind of intrigued to find out what Scott thinks. That's coming up in just a moment right here on ESPN New York.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you could put your knowledge to work on the events that matter to you. Prediction Markets isn't just sports. It's the Fed rate decision, your favorite award show, and so much more beyond the playing field. Trade events with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
Hey, football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. Really? That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's second chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Try a first TD scorer wager with confidence today. BetMGM. Make it legendary.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. New Jersey only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Hey, this is Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson for three.
And this is your home for New York Knicks basketball. This is 880 ESPN.
WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Hey, sorry I missed you. Your call is very important to me. Just not as important as the New Jersey Lottery's Green Ball promotion being back on Pick 3 evening drawings. See, if the green ball's drawn, that's a free second chance to win? So, yeah, you get it. It's only through February 1st, though, so try me after then?
Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. For game odds and promotion details, visit njlottery.com/pick3.
From Focus Features, movies are a place of dreams. And this year, one movie captures that spirit like no other. Based on a true story, critics hail Song Sung Blue is a tribute to the resilience of humanity.
Trying to be better.
Aren't we all?
Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson are electric
Bad things happen. I just want to sing and I want to shine.
in the best picture of the year. Song Sung Blue, rated PG-13, may be inappropriate for children under 13. Now playing only in theaters.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Talking a lot of football because it was an unbelievable 5 days of football with the college football semis and then the 3 days of the NFL, which end tonight with the Steelers against the Texans. There's a lot of baseball going on, too. The Red Sox losing Bregman to the Cubs is a shocker. Now, we know the narrative that goes on in here in New York. I mean, this is a New York show. So we're going to hear about the unhappiness with the Mets front office and with the Yankee front office. And, you know, one of the narratives that we always hear is that Hal doesn't really want to win because he doesn't spend enough money. And when all is said and done, the Yankees' payroll is going to be over $300 million. If they sign Bellinger, it'll be about $320. If they don't, and they don't pivot and go after, you know, Bichette or Tucker, well, it'll be around $300. Now let's look at the Red Sox, whose fans really, I believe, have a legitimate reason to ask that question. They traded Rafael Devers because they had signed Bregman, and they wanted Bregman to play third. And Devers was reluctant to move to first, didn't want to DH, ended up DHing, and then he and his big contract were traded to the Giants. And the return wasn't that impressive. The return for the Red Sox was getting rid of what they felt was an owner's contract, which they had bestowed on Devers themselves. So the thought in Boston was the best guy, the happiest guy with the trade of Devers, at least financially, was Bregman. Because obviously the Red Sox would have to apply the money they saved on Devers to Bregman when Bregman opted out of the 3-year deal with 2 opt-outs. So he signed a $120 deal with the Red Sox, opt out after each year. So he opted out after last year, or this past season, after he made up $40 million. So he was in great shape. How could they let him walk? Well, they drew a line in the sand, I think at like 165, and they would not give him a no-trade clause. And I don't think they thought that the Cubs were in play. And the Cubs came in at 175, some deferred. and gave him a no-trade clause. And the Red Sox were out. So the Red Sox not only don't have Devers, but they don't have Bregman, and they have all this money that was saved, and then they haven't applied it to anything. Now, they've made trades. They got Sonny Gray. They've made some improvements. They haven't signed anybody. So the Red Sox payroll, I believe, is at $238. And the first tax threshold is at $240. The Red Sox owners are as rich as any owners in sports. Now, do they have the personal wealth of a Cohen? No. But John Henry, they're not having any bake sales for him. And from what I know, talking to people that I know in Boston, Red Sox fans are furious. Absolutely furious. Although they've made their pitching better, they have not made their hitting better. They made the deal for Contreras. But still, they're light. They're light offensively. And they let Bregman go, and Bregman wanted to stay. So if you want to say that an owner is not spending up to the team's capability, take a look at Boston. Take a look at Boston. Because they're not. The Red Sox should have the same payroll as the Yankees, as the Blue Jays, as the Mets. And I don't think anybody's going to have the payroll of the Dodgers. But they should be over $300 million. They're not even over the first tax threshold. So from the outside looking in, I truly believe that what's happening is the Red Sox are telling their fans, hey, we've given you 4 world championships since 2004. Pipe down. We'll do this the way we want. And we're going to make some money along the way. This is the ownership group that bought the Penguins for $900 million a couple of years ago. And they just sold it for $1.9 billion. They own Liverpool, the soccer club, across the pond. And they make a lot of money. But they're not spending a lot of money on the Red Sox. And the Red Sox have some of the highest prices in all of baseball per their seats. So when you sit back and you say your team is cheap, collect yourself and then look at the Red Sox and tell me if your team is as cheap as the Red Sox. And the Red Sox print money just like all the other teams that are wealthy. Red Sox own Nesson. Red Sox own Fenway. The Red Sox are doing quite fine, but they are not pouring that money back in. So they got rid of Devers' contract. Now they got rid of the $40 million they paid Bregman. Now, do they pivot and go get Bichette? Maybe that'll quiet everybody down. Bichette's meeting with the Phillies as we speak. Do they pivot and get Tucker? I don't think they do because they don't need an outfielder. Do they get Framber Valdez? Do they get Ranger Suarez? Or do they sit back at $238, and if their fans are unhappy, then they're unhappy? Interesting, right? So your thought that your team is cheap, the Red Sox saying, hold my beer. Let's go to Glenn in Levittown. Glenn.
Yeah, hi, Michael. It's Lance from Levittown.
Oh, I'm
Thanks
sorry.
for taking my call. That's okay. I was on mute a couple of days ago. I really appreciate you, man.
Thanks.
I wanted to talk about the reporter talking to the head coach of Jacksonville, and I felt humiliated for the guy because, it was kind of condescending in a way. Like he needed her to validate his, accomplishment and his feelings. It's like, it's like being talked to by your grammar school teacher. Hey, Billy, you got straight A's, but keep a stiff upper chin because you only got a B on your last test. Okay, And like, if it was the owner saying that to him, he'd be thrilled. But who is she?
Well, I mean, you're definitely taking a little bit of a different angle on it. I don't think that was her intent at all. I thought it was awkward. I thought he looked, when you look at his face as she's saying it, seemed a little awkward. I think the intent was to be kind. Somebody that was struggling. That was the intent. And as I said, I don't think that what she did was so terrible. I just thought that the venue was wrong. But I could definitely see what you're saying, that it was awkward, but I don't think that was her intent at all. At all. So there's so many layers to this. Doesn't make her a bad person. Doesn't mean it's the wrong thing to do. I just think it's the wrong thing to do in that spot, in that space. That's all. 1-800-919-3776. One more game tonight in the NFL as the Steelers take on the Texans. And now we bring in the man who's going to helm the coverage. You know the deal. It is our good friend Scott Van Pelt. 6 p.m. Monday Night Countdown on ESPN, 8:15. Steelers-Texans, that'll be on ESPN and ABC7. And then after the game, 11:30 Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt on ESPN. Scott, how you doing, my friend?
I am fantastic, Michael. How about you?
I'm doing well as well. Now, I was wondering what you thought about the question answered or asked in Jacksonville. And I just read somebody sent out a tweet about, that you didn't think there was anything wrong with it. Let me throw this at you, Scott. I don't think that there was anything terrible that was done. I just don't know if that was the right venue for it. Why do you not think that was a problem?
I think we take ourselves far too seriously, and we act like there's the sanctity of this, and what was done there is, this is a woman that, as I understand it, is a valued member of the community that's written for a community newspaper. Could that have been said outside the press room? Sure, 1,000%. But it was 20 seconds of people's lives. No one was prevented getting the meat and potatoes of Liam Cohen's answer of what happened. You guys saw what happened. Josh Allen happened, and a ball got deflected and they lost. And I think there's enough anger, there's enough pissed off people in the world, there's enough crap. This was 20 seconds of kindness that didn't prevent anyone in that room from being able to get answers to the questions they had. Was it the venue? Perhaps not. We do plenty of places where the venue's not the right venue to act like absolute asses. This was kindness shown in a venue where it's not often shown, and I have zero issue with it. In fact, good for you. I get it. I get it. But like this, people walking around like you're Walter Cronkite. My God, it's the Jags and the Bills. We're not building, suspension bridges and solving cancer, Michael. You and I are lucky. We talk about sports. So are the people who were there. I'm just not put off by it. I get it. You're not wrong to say it's not the right venue. I don't care.
It is weird, though, Scott, like, having essentially grown up in a baseball press box. And there was a book by Jerome Holtzman.
No cheering.
There's no cheering in the press box.
Yeah,
and I'm telling you, to this day, 2026, if you cheer in the press box, you're going to get dirty looks from writers. So, in essence, that was kind of like cheering in the press box.
This wasn't a sports writer, again, as I understand it. This is a woman that's been part of the Jacksonville community for like 30 years. And again, maybe it's the smaller town of Jacksonville. Maybe it's the sensibility that of all the big, would that happen in New York, LA, Chicago? I don't know. Probably not. Maybe not. But again, I'm amazed that it's this big a deal. And seeing folks that are so put off by it, I feel like a little self-awareness and allowing this brief interlude that happened to cause them such angst, I feel like it's a waste of time and energy. But go ahead and do your thing, man. If it bothers you, you by all means state it. People have, and I want to be clear. I understand the premise. You don't cheer in a press box and you don't ask questions like that there. But I don't know. It didn't trouble me.
It's interesting, and why I was looking forward to talking to you about it, because you have a style of interviewing which I think is exceptional. And it's not confrontational. It's more conversational. So it's not like being grilled on 60 Minutes. And I think that works beautifully for you. And I think that people feel more comfortable talking to you than being grilled. But this, to me, is another step beyond.
Yeah, that's fair. No, that's fair. That's entirely. You're right on both counts. Like, to me, my it's intentional. When I speak to people, I think when you talk to people just like I'm talking to you, then it's disarming because I'm not. I think you'll drop your guard, and then we could just have a more real conversation about things than if you feel like it's going to be super formal. I'm obviously not super formal with how I do things. I'm the opposite of that. But I tend to speak to people in moments of high achievement where you get to sort of heap praise on them. You're not having the person on. We're not going to have Sirianni on, after they lost. I can go, what are we doing on offense? Like that's not the guest you get. So I tend to get people in moments where it's way more of a, hey, wasn't that great? Mm-hmm. But that what was done yesterday, I get it. That was very different and a departure from what we typically see.
All right, so one of the things that we saw over the weekend, and one of the things that Liam Cohen did that I thought is questionable, it seems like people are addicted to going for it on fourth down, and their answer is, this is the way I've done it all year. Well, you know what? It's different. Week 8 is different than Week 19.
Yeah, I mean, the analytics have reached a place where I understand math. And I've made this analogy often. If I've said it on your show, please stop me. But like if I go to the casino, we talked about it when I was in Vegas. If I'm going to play blackjack, I play by the book because there's math. There's fixed math that's attached to the situation, right? Well, we apply math and analytics like it's hard and fast, black and white. It isn't. It just isn't. These are human beings. There are infinitely more variables that impact what the right thing to do is. And, the notion of, look at the Chargers yesterday, right? You get a turnover inside the 10-yard line and you get stuffed from the 2, and then you decide, let's roll the dice. What mental impact might it have had to see a 3 next to your name, a lead on the road against New England? Mm-hmm. I don't know the answer to that, but it would have been a hell of a lot better than we get nothing out of a turnover inside the 10. And it just feels like teams just constantly are going for it, and it's the running joke. Why do coaches hate points? Well, they hate 3 points, and they'd rather get nothing than kick, as if kicking is some sort of a sign of weakness. I don't dismiss the notion of going for it. We understand analytically there are advantages to it, but just to act like it's fixed and you must at all times do it, or it's some weakness or you've failed, I think that certainly could be called into question because it ignores so many other variables.
And I believe that one of the weaknesses in analytics, and I'm for analytics because analytics is a fancy way of saying information. You're getting information that's going to help you. But Joe Torre said it best to me, Scott, when he said the analytics might tell me I should take out David Cone in the 7th inning to bring in a relief pitcher to face a certain batter. But the analytics don't know that David Cone would very willingly kill a small farm animal to get that out. It doesn't tell me what the guy in the bullpen would do. And I don't think analytics, I think the thing that frustrates the people with analytics, it doesn't measure heart. It doesn't measure moment. And I think it kept the Detroit Lions from going to the Super Bowl last year. I think it's big. There has to be an adjustment.
I mean, it's clearly gained momentum and acceptance for reasons that again I endorse it. I'm not anti-analytics. Where I have struggled for years with my friends that treat me like I'm a caveman is not blindly saying yes, always go for it. Like it's right. like you're playing Madden on a video game. This is real life stuff, and again. It's not fixed math. There are variables that cannot be quantified. It's a data point, and we're the old guys here at the party, and everyone's just looking at us rolling their eyes at us because this is just what you do. And it's like, okay, well, I mean, this time of year, defense and running the ball tends to win, and points on the board is better than no points on the board. And it definitely showed itself on occasion this week. But largely, I feel like we saw incredible football. So, I mean, we've been treated to great games thus far. I don't feel like the analytics actually cost anyone a game. It impacts the direction games go.
Your thoughts on Ben Johnson's actions?
I love hate in rivalries. Love it. You've had a front row seat for one of the great examples of it for, all these years. At the core of Yankees Red Sox is hate. At the core of Ohio State Michigan is hate. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And Ben doubled down on it today, saying, I don't like that team. I hate that team. Okay. I don't have any issue with him doing it. I will say if I'm Green Bay, it changes the calculus for me. Because if it's like F us, well then guess what, pal? F you forever. Mm-hmm. As long as you're there, we will make it our point to meet your level of aggression and hate with the same, and there's no margin of beating you that will be sufficient. If this is what we're doing, fine. You've stated it publicly. When you said it in the room for your team, that's one thing. When your social media sends it out for the world to consume, then you're letting us know that's what we're doing. Cool. Then guess what? We're happy to meet that level of aggression. That's how I'd treat it.
No, I think you're right. And why would you give the other team that kind of ammunition the next time they face you? And how much does it hurt to actually have a civilized handshake with Matt LaFleur at midfield rather than doing – I mean, he pulled a Belichick, and Belichick has 6 Super Bowls to pull that. I just think I love hate, too. I love hate in life. I mean, I think it's important. I think it drives the world.
We've talked about this. We're grudge holders. Like, I get it, but I thought – I mean, it feels small and it feels petty, and it feels like you want to create this thing with them, and now you have. And he hasn't accomplished – if you're Belichick, you kind of, what can you do? The guy's can just point at the name of his boat, right? Every time he changed it when they won another one. Johnson hasn't won anything yet to be acting like this. And if I'm LaFleur, I'd be like, and if he's still the coach of Green Bay moving forward, I don't know, that handshake could be a tough one for me, because if that's how you want to act, man, why am I shaking your hand? For what? You're going to show us no respect? Why would I show you any?
And I even wonder why they have the handshakes anymore. In hockey, I think it's a beautiful thing, especially after playoffs. But after games, they don't do it. So I don't quite know. I mean, do managers shake hands after? No. So don't do it.
Fair.
If it's going to cause these awkward things, let's get rid of it. Go back to your locker room.
I couldn't agree more. Like this mandated sportsmanship, we're clearly. I mean, so you're going to do that, and then you're going to go in your locker room and scream "F them, I hate them." Well, then don't shake my hand.
Right?
Why would I ever shake your hand ever again? I wouldn't.
Let's talk about tonight. How will the Steelers keep the Texans off of Rodgers? I think that Rodgers was able to be as great as he was in the fourth quarter last week, because the Ravens couldn't get to him. If you give that guy time, he's going to throw. Now, I know he has a quick release, but if you get to him and make him use that quick release, people are not going to be open. So how do they protect him?
That's the question. And I think Tim Hasselbeck, who's on Sundays throughout the season, who's fantastic, just made the point that you made, that his release is great, but that limits what you can do, right? Throwing the football inside of 2 seconds, you've got no ability to use anything vertically, and it's just all pretty much at the line of scrimmage or just beyond it. And where he was great last week against Baltimore, you make an excellent point, is he hit a bunch of deeper shots because he had time. This Houston defense is the best in the NFL. So it's this wily veteran who's an all-time great, who is truly the lion in winter. I mean, this could be it, up against the best defense in the NFL this season. And by the way, a quarterback, Michael, and C.J. Stroud, who's got experience and has won playoff games. So I think that the Houston offense against Pittsburgh's defense is the part that we'll try to talk about on Countdown some, because we're going to certainly focus on the other angle. But maybe the solution to the riddle here is how well can Houston's offense operate against a Pittsburgh defense that got sliced and diced in the fourth quarter last week too. So, I mean, we've had great games throughout. New England and the Chargers was the one sort of comfortable victory. So, our hope, as it always is just that you have a compelling game and story to document when it's done.
All right, Monday Night Countdown on ESPN starts at 6. The game's at 8:15. Then 11:30, SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt on ESPN. You know what makes you special, Scott? I've known you forever.
I don't.
And usually when I know someone that long, I find something that annoys me. And it drives the hate that I embrace. I have never found that with you. I truly think you're a real gentleman and you're unhateable.
Well, you know what? And I hate a lot of things too. And you and I found early on, I'm like, this guy's got some idiosyncrasies and things that are different about him, and I dig that. And I think we found, you know, what we found, and all these things that we hate, we found love for one another, and that's a beautiful thing.
See, I'm getting a little.
Maybe I'm overstating it. I don't know.
You did your best Lynn Jones just there. You just did your best Lynn Jones.
There we go.
Have a great show tonight. Should be a great game. Thanks, Scott.
Look forward to it. See you, Michael.
All right. That is Scott Van Pelt. He joins us every Monday, and tune in at 6 for Monday Night Countdown. 1-800-919-3776. A developing story, and we kind of were in front of this on Friday, is the Bellinger Yankee situation, where the Yankees are said to be at 5 years, and Bellinger is insisting through Boris at 7. According to Bob Klapisch of NJ.com, and other people have picked that up as well. So where do you fall on this? Do you think it's something where the Yankees have to budge, or should they pivot, and what their pivot might be? And on top of all of that, the Mets are said to be one of 3 teams remaining in the Kyle Tucker sweepstakes. The Mets, the Blue Jays, and the Dodgers for the outstanding outfielder that's a free agent. So for Met fans out there, if they pivot and get Tucker, are you as upset about the offseason as you are right now? Those are some of the things we'll hit on in just a moment. Want to get you, the co-host, involved at 1-800-919-3776. It's K and U for 2 right here on ESPN New York.
Monday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Will the Giants be able to land John Harbaugh as their next head coach?
You need John Harbaugh. That's what you need. I think if the Giants have a really good offseason, and that's a big if, that they could compete for that division next season. I really believe it.
I think the second, if it happens, John Harbaugh gets hired, that most NFL experts will pick the Giants to be one of those teams that has the biggest turnaround.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
The final wild card matchup is tonight, and FanDuel is turning on to playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL game day. Tonight, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. Now, I personally am feeling the Texans big time. Take your shot on an upset if you want to. Take the Steelers' money line or build a parlay that fits the moment. Then apply your profit boost and go after an even bigger payout while the playoffs get rolling. Visit FanDuel.com/local. An official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL game day. 21 and over and physically present in New York options are required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost token. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com for help with a gambling problem. Call 877-8-OPEN-WIDE or text OPEN-WIDE 467-360.
Health surprises can change your life in an instant. You've seen it happen to others, but it doesn't have to be your story. At Princeton Longevity Center, we customize actionable and proactive health plans to maximize your lifespan and take control of your health. Our Cancer Check program combines cutting-edge technology with top medical expertise to keep you ahead of potential risks. With advanced full-body imaging, genetic testing, and multi-cancer detection blood tests, we look for even the earliest signs of problems. Results are analyzed by expert physicians who craft a personalized plan to safeguard your future. You're not just a patient, you're a partner in your health journey, backed by a team committed to helping you live longer, healthier, and more vibrantly. Our programs have saved hundreds of lives and empowered countless others to take control of their health. Be proactive with your health for the ultimate peace of mind. Call 888-8000-PLC or visit PrincetonLongevityCenter.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
ZipRecruiter. When it comes to meat and seafood, selection matters, and no one beats Wild Fork Foods. To everyday essentials, to high-quality steaks, to seafood and more, every product is blast frozen to lock in peak flavor and freshness, so you get restaurant-quality meats at home for amazing prices. Shop in person at 7 locations across Long Island and New Jersey, or you can order online for same-day delivery. It's easy, it's convenient, and the prices are wild. WildForkFoods.com.
All the way over Barzell. Score!
New York Islanders hockey is back at UBS Arena, and it's time to bring the family and make some noise. With more afternoon games this season, the Islanders have special kids-themed games and activities for young fans. Play games pregame at the park and head inside for fun on the concourse and on the ice. Tickets for the 2025-26 season are on sale now. Get your tickets at NewYorkIslanders.com.
Empower. Ellie here is getting the sleeve she's always dreamed of. She worked with Empower and planned for her next move, so she got good at money. Now she can be a little bad. Oh, by the way, you spelled journey wrong. No worries. She can afford the cover-up, too. Ooh, check out my tat. It says, invest well, live a little. Start today at Empower.com.
Rich Eisen here. As you all know, I care deeply about pediatric cancer research and awareness. That's why I'm proud to talk about Hyundai Hope on Wheels. For over 27 years, every Hyundai sold has helped fund life-saving pediatric cancer research. Together with over 850 dealers nationwide, they've raised more than $277 million, supporting over 25,000 kids in their fight against cancer. At Hyundai, hope isn't optional. It comes standard. Visit HyundaiUSA.com and search Hyundai Hope on Wheels to learn more.
Welcome back to the show. So football at the center of everything, but baseball is lurking. One of the big names came off the list as Bregman signs with the Cubs. And a lot of the money is deferred, but he got his bag, 5 years, $175. So we have Tucker left. The Mets want him, the Blue Jays want him, and the Dodgers want him. Now, the Dodgers, the way they do business, they're going to want a short-term deal at a high average annual value. Now, he's 28 years old, so the Mets could give him a longer-term deal. How high will they go? Will it be 7 years? And will it be $280 million? That'll be $40 million a year. So that means that in their outfield, they'd have $90 million a year in commitments in right field and left between Soto and Tucker. The Blue Jays, how far do they go? So will he get the longer deal with the Mets and the Blue Jays or the shorter deal with the higher average annual value? Now, if I'm Tucker, I'm taking the longer deal because the reason that you are as valuable as you are is because you're 28 years old. If you take a 4-year deal with the Dodgers, say at $50 million a year, okay, that's $200 million. But when you become a free agent again, you're at 32. So the long-term deal's not going to be there. So Bregman's 32. He had to settle for a 5-year deal. So it's going to be interesting to see how this transpires over the next couple of days. Also, it will be interesting to see how the Bellinger situation plays out. So, according to Bob Nightingale of USA Today, Yankees have offered a 5-year contract between $155 and $160 without deferrals. So he'd be making more than Schwarber. He'd be making more than Alonso. Bellinger is said, according to Nightingale, to want a 7-year deal. This essentially what we told you on Friday. So there's a segment of fans say, well, Judge is older. You can't let these years slip away. You give Bellinger what he wants. But good business people don't bid against themselves. So unless Boris could present proof of there being a 7-year offer out there, why would the Yankees move off of 5? Why? Now, Boris is going to say, well, Bregman's 32 and he got a 5-year deal. Cody is 30. What's wrong with giving him a 7-year deal? So right now it's a stare down. And I don't think the Yankees are going to budge. So the thing that's comforting for Boris, though, if it's a stare down and the Yankees' plan B is to go with Jason Dominguez, then there's no urgency for Boris. If it's a stare down and the Yankees say, listen, it's 5 years and that's it, and if you don't take it, we're going to go pursue Kyle Tucker, then there's a deadline. There's no deadline if the pivot is, all right, we're going to just have Dominguez and Spencer Jones fight out who's going to play left field. So it's kind of a game of chicken within a game of chicken. I don't think the Yankees are moving from 5. I'm not sure if Boris is going to move from 7. I don't know when Bellinger gets involved. But I don't think the Yankees would be in play with Tucker. So I think that if they don't get Bellinger, they're going to go with Dominguez. And probably a lesser player, maybe an Austin Hayes to platoon out there against some tough lefties. So there's not that urgency for Boris to move off of 7 if the Yankees are not going to pivot and spend the money somewhere else. So it's going to be it could be done maybe this week. Because here's the deal. Pitchers and catchers for the Yankees report on Wednesday, February 11th. First workout Thursday, February 12th. Position players report Sunday, February 15th. First full squad workout Monday, February 16th. So they have time. We're coming up on about a month. Today's the 12th, so it's exactly a month for their first pitchers and catchers workout. It's a month and 3 days for position players to report. We'll see how this plays. Let's go to Anthony in Albany. Anthony.
How you doing, Mike? Happy New Year.
Same to you, Ant.
Anyways, I think this is just Boros being, Scott Boros and, wanting the most for his clients. And I don't think the Yankees should do it. That's a long time. Belly's a great glove, decent bat, solid bat. But I think in this case, like you said, I think the Yankees are just going to, either give it to Dominguez or Jones or let them battle it out and put that money towards pitching because in the end, we know pitching is what it's all about.
Well, I'll tell you this, Anthony. I don't think they're chasing Suarez and they're not chasing Valdez. So if they put it toward pitching, they're going to put it toward pitching in terms of a trade. And they're not going to put, I guess they're offering him about $32 million a year. They're not going to put that to get a free agent pitcher. They're not. They think they have enough pitching. So that's not their pivot. I think their pivot is Dominguez and Spencer Jones with a lesser right-handed batter. That's the pivot. And that's why, in all likelihood, Boris doesn't feel any pressure to capitulate right away. But I don't think the Red Sox believed Boris when Boris said that there was a robust market for Bregman. They didn't believe him. So they didn't budge off their offer, and then all of a sudden, Bregman signs with the Cubs. You can't bluff in poker unless we watch how you've played over the years and that you sometimes do have pocket aces. But if you bluff every single time, then it's an empty bluff. He doesn't bluff every single time. He does have other suitors. But I think the question is, are the other suitors where Bellinger wants to go? Might the Angels give a 7-year contract? Yeah, maybe. Is that where Cody wants to play? Probably not. I don't think the Dodgers are giving him 7 years. There's a team that didn't tender him 2 years after he won a World Series. The Cubs, who were said to be in on him, I never thought they were. They're out now. They just spent all their money on Bregman. And then the Mets. I also don't think the Mets are in. So is there a secret team out there? Maybe. Is it a team that's going to be a contending team? I don't know. Tell me who that is. Tell me who that contending team is. I don't think it's the Blue Jays. I don't think it's the Dodgers. I don't think it's the Padres. It's not Milwaukee. It's not Seattle. It's not Boston. Could it be the Angels? Maybe. I don't know. That's why it's tough to play this game. Every free agent knows what every player makes. Every owner does not know if an agent is bluffing or not. They don't. They've got to trust their instincts, and they've got to look at the market and go, who is out there that's giving Cody 7 years? If Scott says it's out there, maybe you have to believe him. Now you have to figure out who that is. And then you have to weigh that against the fact that Bellinger did enjoy playing with the Yankees. So how much is that extra year worth to him? Alex in Florida. Alex.
Hey, nice to talk to you, Michael.
Thanks for calling, man.
I met you one time 25 or 30 years ago at Steinbrenner Field today, and you were very nice, so thank you.
Oh, you got it.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about the international scouting director that we don't have. Have you heard anything about that? Because I heard the number 2 guy's gone too, and I know it's a way that the Yankees can compete with everybody, because it's not you get some money and they get less than other people, but they can still compete because if a guy wants to go there, they can sign him.
Well, I mean,
other teams do it great, like Milwaukee. And the Dodgers. And we need to get better at that.
Well, I think the Yankees are good internationally. They've dropped off a little bit in Japan because the Dodgers have owned that market. But the Japanese players that were available this time, the Yankees didn't really have interest. They didn't have interest in Amaya as a starter. They had maybe lukewarm interest in him as a reliever. They didn't have interest in the 2 infielders. So one signed with the Blue Jays and one signed with the White Sox. So it's not like they got beaten out, but they made a robust bid for Yamamoto. They looked into Sasaki, but it's hard to compete. You can't move your real estate. The Dodgers are closer to Japan. They have great weather. And they have the greatest Japanese player of all time. That's the star for them. But in terms of the international signing, I think they do just fine in the Latin American countries. But, our caller was just alluding to the fact Yankees got rid of the international signing, the head of international signing. And international signing kicks up in a couple of days. So I don't know what the Yankees are going to do. I'm not quite sure. Let's go to Peter in Bayonne. Peter.
Hey, Michael. Thank you for the call. Big fan.
Thanks.
I just had a quick thing about Bellinger.
All right.
To your point about the 5-year thing regarding having the 5-year thing that the Yankees will not move from, and the 7-year that Boris wants.
Right.
I think the Yankees will have egg in their face or be holding the bag if there is a team that signs them ultimately for 6 or 7 years, because the Yankees did not want to move from 5. Just from because they didn't want to move for it. I just want to make that comment. Thank you so much for
Well, I mean, they won't have egg in their face if they feel convicted that they will not move off 5, because that's what they valued him at, and they've made him a really fair offer. They'll only have egg on their face if he comes back to haunt them, and they drew the line at 5 years. I think the Yankees value players. This is what he's worth. This is how many years are willing to go. And if there's another team that wants to spend that money or go the extra year, I think the Yankees are fine with it. I really do. I don't think they'll have egg on their face. Now, Boris could say, I told you I had 7. And the Yankees could say, okay, that's cool. We don't think your client's worth giving 7 years to. We just don't. We don't want to tie up that money for 7 years. because they've been burned before. Year 5 and 6 for DJ LeMahieu ended up being really bad years. They're paying him $15 million this year not to play. So any long-term contract, you almost have to amortize the fact that you're going to get an injury in there. And you're going to lose the player for a year or so. And in the year now where people are not on PEDs, you know what? Dirty little secret. As you get older, you don't get as good. You're not 40 years old hitting 50 home runs anymore. That doesn't work. So if there's no more PEDs, it's the normal aging process. As you get older, you get less effective. That's all there is to it. So I don't know if they'll have egg on their face. They'll have egg on their face if it's the Mets that give them 7 years and, they have to look at them for the next 7 years across town. But again, egg, if they feel convicted, we're not giving them more than 5, then I think they'll be very comfortable with it. Yeah, in all likelihood, the Yankees wanted to get back Luke Weaver, right? But they didn't want him at $11 million a year, so the Mets signed him. You think the Yankees are upset? Not a bit. They would never give him $22 million for 2 years. The Yankees wouldn't have minded having Devin Williams back. But the Mets gave him 3 years, $51. The Yankees don't feel bad about it. That's far over what they valued him at. So they have to trust their valuations. 1-800-919-3776. We are leading you to 3. At that time, Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg right here on ESPN New York.
More people trust their hearts to New York Presbyterian than any other hospital in New York. It's because New York Presbyterian has the most experienced cardiovascular doctors, treating a full range of heart conditions, from heart failure to valve repair, with the most advanced treatments. Find a doctor at nyp.org/heart. New York Presbyterian. New York Presbyterian Hospital, based on U.S. News & World Report 2025 to 2026 cardiology, heart, and vascular surgery rankings.
Hey, sorry I missed you. Your call is very important to me. Just not as important as the New Jersey Lottery's Green Ball promotion being back on Pick 3 evening drawings. See, if the green ball's drawn, that's a free second chance to win? So, yeah, you get it. It's only through February 1st, though, so try me after then?
Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. For game odds and promotion details, visit njlottery.com/pick3.
Hey, football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's Second Chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead.
Really?
That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's Second Chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Try a first TD scorer wager with confidence today. BetMGM. Make it legendary.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. New Jersey only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, New York and New Jersey. Commitment issues? No problem. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month forever, as in for life. Switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, you may experience slower speeds. Pay $25 a month as long as you stay on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a time out to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. Right now, Pella Windows and Doors of New Jersey is offering buy one, get one 50% off and every day 0% financing. Some restrictions may apply. See store for details. Offer ends January 31st, 2026.
Talk about stepping up. Bang! Bang! It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
You live for this. The wins, the losses, the slam dunks, and the buzzer beaters. The dream that this is your team's year. Hope, it's what keeps you coming back. So you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when everything's on the line, your support means everything. That's why the NBA Store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
I want to tell you this cute story because, companies sometimes are very impressed with themselves and they try to do the right thing, but they don't know how to do the right thing. So when my family and I went on vacation, we booked a flight on American. And I always fly American. I like American. So it was a snowy day, and it wasn't terrible weather, though. And we kept checking our app, and it kept saying, the flight's on time, the flight's on time, the flight's on time. It wasn't on time. So once you leave the house for the airport, then you're stuck in the airport, right? And the flight was delayed over 5 hours. And they moved the gate 3 different times, so people are herded like cattle. You all know. You've all gone through it. I'm nobody special. This is just my personal experience. But I'm also not one of those people that's going to do a lot of complaining. Part of flying is that there's going to be delays. And then coming home, we were in Cancun. It was a 6-hour delay. And once you check out of your hotel, you got 11 and a 13-year-old. At that time, she was 12. You got to corral them for 6 hours. So it kind of stinks. Again, I wasn't going to make a big deal out of it. It's part of the rules of engagement. So then they send me an email. We'd like to get your take on how we did. So I just roasted them. You did terribly. You treated people like cattle. You keep moving gates. People are dragging their carry-on luggage back and forth. You're delaying flights over and over and over again. So you send it in, and you don't hear from them. So they want to ask you, how did we do? And then you told them you did really crappy. But then there's no follow-up. Well, I'm sorry. And one of the things I said, when you delay a flight for 5 hours and then coming back 6 hours, I don't know, maybe it's me. Like on an American flight, if you want to get Wi-Fi, it's $28. I mean, that's your choice. They could. It's like buying M&Ms at Hudson News in the airport. You're going to pay $3.50 for something that you went to 7-Eleven you'd get for 79 cents. Again, the rules of engagement of flying. But they said, well, what could we do to make your? I said, well, when you delay people 5 and 6 hours, how about offering up free internet on the flight, free Wi-Fi? How about that? Again, no answer. So then the hotel that we were in was also dreadful. There were about 4,000 people that were booked, big hotel, and they had about 100 people working. So if you called for towels or anything like that, it took 5 hours for them to come up to the room. You couldn't get into any of the restaurants in the hotel. There was like a 4 or 5 hour line. So they send out one of those, how did we do? And I told them, you did crappy on a scale of 0 to 10. I hit 0 on all of them. But do you hear back on them? Did they ever come back and go, we'll refund some of your money? No. So why are you sending out, how did we do? You did terribly. You did absolutely as bad as you could do as a business. It'd be like walking into a pizza shop and you get your pizza, comes out of the oven, and there's dead roaches on it. And you tell the guy, there's dead roaches on my pizza, and he goes, oh, sorry, and doesn't give you the money back. So why are you asking for people's feedback, and then people feed back and tell you you did a bad job, but there's no recourse. So stop the nonsense. For all of you out there, don't answer those emails. They don't do anything. So you tell them you were unhappy, tell them they did a bad job, tell them that they were awful. Nothing. Crickets. Absolute crickets. I'm not going to go after the hotel, although it's in Cancun and it's 3 letters, and I would never go back there again, ever. So when you send an email, how did we do, and then it's answered, and then you don't do anything for it, it makes it even worse. That's just my advice to all you businesses out there. If you don't care how we feel, don't ask us. And if you ask us, then you better be prepared to do something to make them feel better about your product. Steelers and the Texans, final wild card weekend game. I have the Texans in this one, given the points. I also had New England yesterday, and I ended up with that one. So my 2-pack, I could go 2-0. Take a look at Don, though. Don hit all 5 of his picks, and he has the Texans tonight. In fact, Alan and Peter did well, too. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg coming up in just a moment. I will see you again tomorrow at 1 p.m. So in the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. See everybody. Have a wonderful day.
Presented by Robinhood.
He crosses, spins, pulls up.
With Robinhood Prediction Markets, buy or sell your predictions all game long. No house odds, just you versus the market. Put your sports IQ to work. Trade every shot, block, steal, run, and moment that shifts the